Hello there. If you are looking for a ritual that you can do this New Year's Eve to set yourself up for massive success in 2020, then stay tuned. Some people dislike New Year's Eve, some people say it's just another day, but I have proven ways that you can train your subconscious to really have a big impact this New Year's. I'm Casey, and I help lifestyle entrepreneurs get in alignment so that they can hustle less and achieve more. The two rituals that I like to use on a New Year's Eve celebration are a gratitude list and a letter to myself, envisioning what my life will be like at the end of that year. Now, these rituals do take a little bit of time, but they are a fantastic way to reflect on all the things that have gone well in 2019 and get your subconscious primed for the ultimate best outcomes of 2020. The first thing that I do is write a gratitude list for all of the things that have happened in the previous year. And I don't like to specify a number of things that I like to write on my list, but I do like to hit that point where I think I have thought of it all. So I write my list and think about all the way back from January to now, what are all the amazing things that I have to be grateful for in my life? And usually that list starts really easy and things start flowing out. And then I get to a point where I'm missing any sort of ideas popping up. And that's the point where I encourage you to keep going even farther. Because once you get to that point where you think you've thought of everything, and then if you dig a little bit more and give yourself time and say, whenever I hit that point, I'm going to write 10 more things, your mind starts to really have to dig and think of examples of things that have gone well in your life. What I'm interested in this process is creating new neural pathways in your brain so you can prime your subconscious to look for the positive by practicing this. You might not be familiar with my story and know that I suffered from a traumatic brain injury about 15 years ago and had to retrain my brain in a lot of different ways. And one of the things that I discovered during that process is that you really can retrain your brain. And when you do, and you use it like a muscle, in this practice, for example, of focusing in on what you're grateful for, then your mind creates neural pathways that help you automatically then think about more things that you are grateful for. It's really incredible. And so this practice is essentially just priming your brain and getting it prepared to focus in more often on the things that are going well and good in your life. So make your list of all of the things that you're grateful for in 2019, and then when you feel like you've run out, keep going. Now, the second piece of this is to write a letter to yourself as if it is the end of 2020 already and you have just lived your best possible year yet. This might be a funny process to go through, but it is so incredibly powerful. I write the letter as if I am the best possible version of myself and I have just completed an incredible year and feel so good about myself. That is the place that I put myself in order to write this letter. When I write my letter this year, I'm probably going to write something like, it is December 31st of 2020 and I feel incredible. My family is healthy and they all feel loved and supported and we spend so much good quality time together this year. I am so grateful for all of the opportunities that we had in 2020 to do X, Y, and Z. My health is the optimal state that it's ever been in. I feel better than I've ever possibly felt. I'm so glad that I put time into eating healthy foods and getting outdoor fresh air every single day and lots of fun activity. And then I would just go down the line in all of the categories that are important to me, and I would try to be as specific as possible to the things that I did and the actions that I took, because those are things that you can control. So the most important things to think about are to write the letter as if it has already happened, so you are already in that state. Focus on the feelings that you feel and which actions you took in order to create those feelings over the course of the year. And these things aren't just woo-woo, these are backed in science. Brain injury patients know this, Competitive athletes know this. When we focus in on what we are grateful for, the first step, that primes our subconscious and our brain to find more experiences that match that feeling. And then when we do the visioning piece, we're actually practicing creating new neural pathways in our brain. So, for example, there is a swimmer who was working with a neuroscientist to practice and improve a certain type of stroke with his swimming. And so what they did for 67 days is he closed his eyes and he pictured that particular stroke, doing it absolutely perfect. And they tested both his muscle strength pre this activity, and also they would scan his brain and see see the activity in his brain that was going on. So he was able to improve his stroke, his physical stroke in the water, by just visualizing it consistently over time. This stuff is powerful. I'm not making it up. So after you have that letter written, your gratitude list and your letter written, take those things and seal them up in an envelope and put them away in a safe spot for the rest of the year. Because the other piece of this is, now that it's the end of the year, I get to open up my letter from the previous New Year's Eve ritual that I did, and I get to read it and see how close I got. And let me tell you, I have been practicing this for about a decade now, and every time I put that letter away and seal it and save it for the end of the year, I kind of forget about the things that are on there. Now I have primed my brain to prioritize and remember the feelings of what it's like in order to have experienced them. And then through good habits and good practices all through a year, I have found that I have forgotten about what I have written down and my exact goals or vision on there, but so much of it has actually come true and happened. I hope that this is not only just a fun ritual to do for your New Year's Eve, but also when you get to open up that letter at the end of 2020, that you are amazed and surprised at how much you have accomplished. Now, if you're anything like me, you probably have some pretty big goals and pretty big vision for 2020, and I want to make sure that you are able to find the time in order to get those most important things done. And I have a free resource for you to do just that. It's called my Time Hack Toolkit. You can think of this Time Hack Toolkit as the Cliff Notes version of all the best practices out there that are actually tried and true to help you achieve more in less time. I have this resource for you over on my blog. There's a big teal button right below this video. I'll link it in the description above or below whatever platform you're watching this on. And you can pop over to my blog, click that big teal button, and I will deliver that Time Hack Toolkit straight to your email inbox. Wishing you an amazing 2020, my friends. May it be your best year yet. I hope that you got value from today's episode and you will join me right here, same time, same place next week.